I didn't believe in ghosts. Not really. But I did believe in atmosphere. And Château de Brissac had it in spades. I booked a weekend tour package. The kind where you get to sleep in a haunted room. Cute, right? My suite had gilded wallpaper, high ceilings, and a full-length antique mirror by the window. I loved that mirror. It felt like it belonged to another century. Until night fell. Around 2 a.m. I sat up in bed. Not because of a sound, but because something felt wrong. The air was thick. Stale. The kind of stillness that isn't silence. It's waiting. I looked at the mirror and saw someone standing beside me. A woman. Pale. Hair hanging wet and heavy down her face. She wore a green dress. Stained and faded. Her face was angled down, but her eyes were looking up at me. I whipped around. No one there. When I looked back at the mirror, nothing. Just me. Breathing hard. Sweating. Then, without warning, black blood began pouring from its eyes, crawling down its face like living shadows. I threw a blanket over the glass and didn't sleep another second. When I checked out the next morning, I asked the concierge if anyone else had seen anything in the mirror. He said, "It's better when she stays behind the glass." I knew about the Green Lady, every tourist does, but I wasn't interested in legends. I came to Château de Brissac because of the murder. Charlotte de Brez, stabbed to death by her husband after catching her with her lover. According to the rumors, it happened in one of the tower bedrooms. That room isn't part of the public tour, but with the right bribe, I got in. They told me not to stay long. The groundskeeper warned, "The tower doesn't like visitors." I ignored him. The room was bare. Cold stone, a 4-poster bed with velvet curtains, and on the wall, a dark stain. Brown-black. Old. I don't know why, but I touched it. It was warm. That night, I set up my camera on the dresser, hoping for something spooky to share online. Nothing happened for hours, just creaks and wind. But at 3:27 a.m., I woke up choking. Not metaphorically, literally choking. Hands around my throat. Invisible. Ice cold. I flailed. Kicked. Couldn't breathe. The bed felt like it was swallowing me. Then just as suddenly it stopped. I stumbled to the dresser, coughing, eyes watering. My camera was off. Dead battery. When I turned it back on, I found one clip saved 5 seconds of blurry red. Just red. And one sound. A whisper. "You shouldn't have touched it." I was an art student studying French architecture. Château de Brissac was my final stop. I came for the Renaissance styling, but I stayed for something else. It was raining when I arrived. Sharp. Steady. Isolating rain. The chateau felt deserted. Even the staff seemed distant. That night I wandered the halls with my sketchbook. I ended up in a long corridor with tall green drapes hanging over arched windows. I was drawing the curve of the ceiling when I heard a rustle. I looked up. One of the curtains moved, not a flutter. A hand pushed it aside. A woman stepped out slowly. She had long dark hair and wore an emerald gown, soaked through. I thought she might be a reenactor, until I saw her face. It wasn't complete. Her eyes were wide. Black sockets. Her mouth hung open, lower than it should. Torn. Her skin was stretched and sagging like melting wax. She pointed behind me. I turned around. Nothing. When I looked back, she was gone. The curtain hung still. I dropped my sketchbook and ran. I didn't stop until I was locked in my room, blanket pressed to the door like it could keep her out. The next morning I found my sketchbook in the hallway where I'd dropped it. A new page had been added. A charcoal portrait of her staring out. Every haunting has a witness. You've just become one. Subscribe and never be alone again.